Welcome to the Pooch Parenting Podcast, a podcast for parents with dogs. I'm Michelle Stern, a certified professional dog trainer, mom, and former teacher. Living with kids and dogs at the same time can feel like a circus. I know because I lived it too. Join us as we interview a variety of experts and parents to discuss topics that will make parenting with dogs easier, safer, and less chaotic. Also, you can love living with your dog again. I'll always keep it real, which might even mean that you hear the messiness of life in the background on occasion, but at least you know you're not alone. In today's episode, I speak with entrepreneur Ava of Ava's Pet Palace. She's 13 years old and makes organic treats for dogs and cats. I can't wait for you to meet her. She is a true inspiration. Enjoy! Hi, Ava. I am so happy that you're here. I am in a campsite in Oregon, and hopefully the cell service works out so that we can get this done. But I have been following you on Instagram for a really long time, and I am so happy that you agreed to take time out of your busy day to talk to us about your business. But why don't you introduce yourself so our people know what we're going to talk about today?
Well, I'm super excited to be here too, and thank you so much for supporting me. And I'm excited for this podcast. Well, my name is Ava, and my business is Ava's Pet Palace. I started when I was 8 years old. I'm now 13, and I make organic and all natural dog and cat treats. I've always loved animals and had a passion for helping them and always wanted to be around them. But as I was starting to get older, I was noticing that a lot of the treats we were feeding our animals had many bad ingredients. And I wanted to try and help this because I believe that all animals should have the option to eat good quality treats.
That makes me so happy. So one thing that you may not know about me is that I had a cooking school for kids, and I started it and ran it for about 8 years, and I focused on real ingredients. And so I was one of the few cooking schools for kids that focused on like real food, no chemicals, organic stuff, trying to take care of our planet while we're,
Yeah.
feeding our bodies. And it seems like you have some of those same goals with feeding our pets. Can you talk to me a little bit about um, what it means to you to serve dogs and cats good food?
It means that animals will have better quality food, just like they should be eating, just like their owners should be having too. They'll just have better quality foods, which can have many different benefits for them, lead to potentially longer lives, and just better health benefits for them. And it's super important to me because I love animals and I want to do what's best for them.
It's funny. You said something that really actually stuck out to me, and it made me realize that our pets are completely at our mercy. Like literally, they eat
Yeah.
what we feed them, and
Yeah.
otherwise they don't eat it. I mean, my dog will eat grass and stuff, but you know what I mean? So the idea that we have this power, I guess you could say, to
Mhm.
provide really great food for them, that makes us feel like better families, right?
Yeah.
So what kind of ingredients, for example? Talk to me. I have dogs. My audience has dogs. Talk to me about some of the ingredients and some of your most popular dog treats.
So I have five different, sorry, six different dog treats, my new salmon chips. So first I have my three biscuit dog treats, which are cheese, banana, and peanut butter. And the main ingredient, or not main, but the um, ingredient that is in all of them is the oat flour and then brown rice flour. Those are the best flours to use for pet treats and food. Normal flour isn't as good. It's just not good for them, beneficial to them. And then my salmon snacks for cats and dogs, which are just wild Alaskan salmon cut into strips and then they're dehydrated. And then my new salmon chips
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have
for
to try
dogs.
those for my dogs because they love fishy treats. I mean, anything fish for some
My dog
reason,
too.
they go crazy. So are you guys making all of these at your house?
Yes, right now, well, for the four or for the five that I mentioned first, the three biscuit treats and the salmon snacks for cats and dogs, we make all of those here. And then my new salmon chips, we actually just did the Kickstarter for them, and we were able to cover. We were with the support of everyone. We were able to cover half of the cost of, or half of the initial cost to get them produced, and so those were made by someone else. And then we're actually working on getting my new, or not new, my biscuit treats into a new facility so we don't have to make them here. You know, because it's getting to be a lot to make them all here.
Yeah.
We want to have them in stores, retailers nationwide, and we wouldn't be able to do that with us making them here.
Does it feel like a chore sometimes? Because like I said before, I had a cooking school for kids and I love to cook and my students who are children, love to cook, but I wonder if it ever feels like a grind or do you still just love it all the time anyway?
Well, sometimes it can, or yes, sometimes it can get to be a lot, but I love what I do. I definitely get a lot of help from my parents, support from them. So I would say that sometimes it kind of feels like, I'm not sure the exact word I'm looking for, but sometimes it's harder than other times. I guess
Right.
you could say,
Right.
but the majority of the time I absolutely love what I do, and I just have so much fun doing it.
That is so great. I think your parents must be so supportive of you because you started the idea for this business when you were 8 years old. And I know that a lot of parents would probably roll their eyes and think, oh gosh, here she has some other idea again. I remember my little sister wanted to be a typewriter when she grew up. And then, she wanted to be all kinds of things. And so it's hard to know, like, when you're a parent, when to support the idea and when to just be like, "Okay, honey," and nod and whatever, and then see if it just goes away. How
Yeah.
did your parents react? I mean, you were 8, so they must have jumped on board with both feet in, right?
So, yeah, so when I was actually 6, that was when I had the idea for Ava's Pet Palace. That's when I drew the picture for Ava's Pet Palace, the Ava's Pet Palace building. I posted it on Instagram before, but I kept asking. So when I was 6, I wasn't really taken seriously, I guess, or not taken seriously. It was just they said, okay, but we didn't really do
Really?
anything about it or start yet. But I kept asking for the next 2 years, and finally they said yes, and they were both very supportive. And from there, started trying out different recipes, finding out what dogs liked, what was good for them, starting at local animal events and shows, and from then on it just went.
That's amazing. That's a good job for your parents. Congratulations to them for listening to you and hearing what you had to say and then recognizing the difference between, what felt maybe like a harebrained 6-year-old idea versus like something that was legitimately a real business, because that takes
Yeah.
a lot of their time and obviously a lot of your time to take you to shows and you're giving out samples and you're meeting all these people and trying to probably convince stores that they absolutely have to sell what your products are, right? That's probably a lot of
Yeah.
hard work.
It is. It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
Um,
Actually, last June when my Instagram was blowing up and all the orders were coming in, my mom actually um quit her job to support me 100% with Ava's Pet Palace. So um she's been working for Ava's Pet Palace since then, and I'm just super super grateful.
that's great. Well, we're gonna have to warn her that she might have to be a podcast guest herself at some point because she's a really good example of a parent who is growing a dream of a young person as it relates to helping animals. And that's obviously, that's what I do. My focus is just trying to
Yeah.
help kids and dogs live together safely and have everybody get along and not have parents go bonkers because it can be so stressful, how it can be. Um,
Yeah.
so I used to teach high school too, and,
Oh,
um,
that's
I
cool.
know that sometimes the workload for students is intense, and you're juggling being a student and being a business person. So how do you like, is it hard for you to find time to socialize and stuff? How do you juggle everything?
It's gotten. it's gotten easier during COVID, I guess you could say, kind of, because with the social or with the school and then socializing part,
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah.
um, part because I've been home and doing virtual school, so I've had more time for working on Ava's Pet Palace, and then I haven't been um, around my friends in a while because we've been quarantining. So I've been doing most like talking to them online. So it's been easier in
Yeah.
that way
Right.
to balance everything. But before that, when I was first learning to balance everything, it was definitely very very hard. But my parents help a lot. You know, if when I need help, they'll help me.
Do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have. Well, I have four sisters. My two little sisters, and then my two older sisters. My two little sisters, they actually have they're 5 and 3. Yeah. They have their necklace and bracelet business called Unicorn Girl Marie. That's my sister's name, Marie, and then Jordan.
That is, I was gonna ask if they got jealous or any of your siblings got jealous of all the attention and time your business takes, because I think that's very normal for that to happen.
After Yeah, and after Marie and Marie, I think it was just Marie. After Marie seeing Ava's Pet Palace, she asked about making bracelets and necklaces, and I think she started last year or 2 years ago, and or just started making them. And then Jordan, my 3-year-old sister, she started helping too. They seem to have a lot of fun with it. It definitely seems like a lot of fun for them to do.
That is so cute. If you think about it later, send me the link to where they sell their stuff, and I'll link it in our show notes too so that they don't feel left out. Because I want to make sure that your
Okay.
whole family feels like, I mean, that's just so cool, honestly. I think that's amazing. Um, in terms of, living with dogs and kids, I know that you love rescue animals.
Yes.
Both your dog and your cat are rescues, is that right? Why don't you tell us about them?
So my cat Pumpkin, he is my age. We're both 13, and we rescued him when I was 3. He was also 3. We've had him for 10 years now. He's been my best friend ever since. He's always slept with me in my bed on my pillow, um, and he is an orange tabby cat. Um, Mostly, if sometimes with rescues you can't tell, but he's all orange, so that's what we're thinking. That's what the rescue said. My mom's told me. And then Lacey, our dog, she is a miniature pinscher mix. We think also we really don't know what else she has because she's a little bit bigger than a miniature pinscher, but she's about 5 years old. We got her 3 years ago when she was 2, and
Mhm.
she is also my best friend.
She's really cute, and I love seeing the pictures of you and both of your animals on Instagram. Do you feel like they're your number one taste testers, I guess, for your cookies and your treats?
Definitely. Every treat, Lacey is the first dog to try, and Pumpkin loves taste testing the salmon snack. Before we got Lacey, because I was making treats before we had gotten Lacey, we actually had a family dog who was the taste tester, the first Ava's Pet Palace taste tester. Um, he was our family dog. He passed away, but he he was the first dog who has ever tried my treats.
So pretty much a famous dog because you had to get that what do you call it? The paw of approval, I guess, the paw of approval to know that you were onto something because there's all kinds of recipes out there, but I can't wait to order some and try them for my dogs because they go bonkers over treats, especially because they're not something they get like all the time, right? And I
Yeah.
mix it up. I have one dog that's kind of picky and he's moody about the foods that he eats. But he almost always loves something if it has fish in it. So that's pretty cool. Do you have any advice for any young people whose parents might share this podcast with them for helping animals and how to just move forward with an idea instead of just thinking, "Oh, I'm just a kid," or "I can't, what can I do? I can't really do anything. I depend on everybody else." What kind of Can you give us a little pep talk or something so that those kids feel empowered at all to move forward and do something?
I would say that if you have a business idea or dream, to just go for it. It doesn't matter how old you are, to just go for it because you never know what could happen with it. You should always just try something new, but make sure it's something that you love and are passionate about because it'll be the easiest to keep going with. You'll love what you're doing and want to keep doing it. Like, I'm passionate about helping animals, and I love what I do because I'm helping animals, and that's my passion. And if you hit a bump in the road, I think this is my one of my biggest pieces of advice is to keep moving because if you hit that bump in the road, and if it's something that you're truly passionate about and it's worth moving right past that bump. I've had many bumps in my on my journey, my continuing journey. A few of them being my age was actually one of a big bump, but I moved right past that bump because I just had to remember that I was passionate about what I was doing, and I loved what I was doing, and I started to get more confident with my age. I started to talk to more people, and eventually things got better of that. But there are always going to be new bumps in the road. But you just have to remember that they're um, just temporary bumps.
Did you feel that your age was a bump because people didn't take you seriously? Is that what it was?
Yes. So when I would go to the local craft shows and events, people would not take me seriously because I was there at 9 years old with my booth selling treats. But I was also very shy. But as I started to get more comfortable in talking to people, I didn't really let it affect me that people weren't taking me seriously. I just moved right past that and started working on things I could do myself to make me more comfortable with talking to more people. And eventually it got better.
Well, you're very, articulate and poised right now. And I can honestly tell you, in my 8 years of teaching high school and my 8 years of having a cooking school for kids, that there are a ton of adults and kids of all different ages that are not as poised as you are. And so it's funny, it's
Thank
making
you.
me think, well, it's true. I think that maybe this experience and following your dream and really pushing forward has given you a lot of confidence that um will set you up in the rest of life, because I know plenty of adults, dog trainers and just people in all kinds of businesses who get frustrated and maybe things aren't going as smoothly as they wanted, or maybe they're not selling as many classes. Like, I get frustrated sometimes that I'm not selling as many classes or whatever as I want to, and I think, well, I just better keep on trying. Maybe I can change my messaging, or maybe, and I bet that those are things that have gone through your head and you just kept on going until it worked, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, that is really, really useful advice, I think, for everybody, parents included, that when there's something you care deeply about, to keep on going. How is the relationship with your dog and cat, and especially your littlest sisters? Because I know that 3-year-olds can be really hard for some dogs and cats to live with. How does that feel at your house?
So Lacey loves kids. Lacey loves Maria and Jordan. Maria and Jordan also love Lacey. They love animals. They always love to be around Lacey, and Lacey just very good around kids. Um, but Pumpkin, on the other hand, he's an older cat, so he's more crabby, I guess you could say. I mean, he's just how cats are, but he's also an older cat. So Marie and Jay kind of they they know they don't really they know to kind of stay away from him. Not really stay away. They just know that he can sometimes be like that, so
Right.
they're cautious of him. I would definitely say that he's more of a older.
Yeah.
He likes older people
I like
because
that you said that. Because I think what I've seen in the past, with older dogs is that they become a little more temperamental and they have stronger feelings about what they're comfortable with, and especially if their body is ouchy, you know how it gets when creatures,
yeah,
including humans, unfortunately, when we get older, you start feeling aches and pains, and, oftentimes young kids aren't very compatible when your body hurts. So, I get that. I can feel Pumpkin. Tell Pumpkin. Pumpkin has our support as we get it. And it's nice,
yeah,
cats and dogs both come with this sort of built-in defense mechanism. They've got claws and teeth and they can say, "Excuse me, please give me some space," right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I love that you have a culture in your house of animal lovers. I think that's really wonderful. So where can people find you, Ava? Where are you online? And I want to make sure that you promote your online store and your Instagram because it's super cool.
So I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and sometimes Twitter, all at Ava's Pet Palace. And then my website, which is avaspetpalace.com.
Perfect. Okay, I will link to those in the show notes, and maybe we can link to your sister's bracelet business too, just so they don't feel left out. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me. I'm sure you have work to do and schoolwork to do, so I really do appreciate your time, and it was great to
Thank
meet
you
you.
so much. I
You're
had a
very
lot of fun
welcome.
too.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to the Pooch Parenting Podcast on iTunes or on the podcast app of your choice. If you're looking for ongoing support for your family with dogs, be sure to get on the waiting list for my Thriving Parents with Kids and Dogs membership at www.safekidsanddogs.com. And don't forget to follow Pooch Parenting on Instagram or Facebook. Thanks for listening.